Manus flat on the canvas. We are ready to rock and roll. Second round of action. There is a cut on Manus.
Yeah. Jesus.
Martial arts chat.
My man B-Hop, he got dropped out the ring last night. I need a little judo baby. I need me a little judo baby, and let's do it, Rhonda. Let's hit me up.
See you were filming this. You got a face for radio.
Got a face for radio.
That's nice.
Martial arts chat.
Martial arts chat.
Hi, my name's Chris Allen, and this is Martial Art Chat Podcast. Martial Art Chat Podcast is sponsored by A1 Fight Gear. A1 Fight Gear uses the latest cutting-edge boxing gloves for professional and amateur fighters, gym enthusiasts and kickboxers. Local and national gyms in the UK, do yourself a favour and check out A1 at fightgear.com. If you're wanting to get back into shape, then go to beastgear.co.uk, use the coupon code MartialArtsChat to save 15% off your purchases. They've got core sliders, straps and barbell pads and complete strength and conditioning programs to suit your needs. Finally, we're also sponsored World of Martial Arts Television, WOMA.TV, produces, finds, acquires, commissions and presents all you ever want to know about martial arts. Discover techniques, exercises and forms from your favourite martial arts. Explore martial art philosophies, health, culture and spirituality. Right, so I'm joined today by 16-year-old MMA professional Harry Hobbs. Great to have you on the show, Harry. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Nice to speak to you.
No worries. And I know we've spoken in the past before, so yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. I understand you're training full-time, so it's hard for you to get on right now. So let's get started here, Harry, with really not a lot of people, without no disrespect to yourself, you're very new to the game, not a lot of people know who you are around the world yet. So give us a bit of background on yourself. So how did it all start? How did you get into MMA?
Well, I was about maybe 6 years old and I started doing judo. I started entering a lot of competitions and I was winning a lot of gold while I was doing them. So yeah, that was good. And then I turned about 8 or 9, so I got a bit older, and my dad had an MMA gym by this point. So then I started wanting to train a bit of MMA, so I started going down the gym on a Saturday, and training with the older lot, because obviously there wasn't really any kids down the gym at that point, so it was just older lot. So they were just helping me out, because I was quite young at that point. I just started doing bits with them, and then I started training more and more. I started training probably 2-3 times a week. And then it's probably the last year or two that I've been training pretty much 4 or 5 days a week.
Nice. And I've seen pictures with you on your Instagram and Facebook as well. And I can see, is that your father that you train with as well?
Yeah.
So I can see you train at Kinetics Fight Academy, and your father's the owner of that. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So did you sort of start going down with him more, because seeing as that's what he's doing all the time? Was that what you're interested in, opposed to where most people that age are out playing football or rugby or something like that? Did that really push you towards maybe, the MMA scene a bit more?
Yeah, definitely, I'd say so. I don't know if I would have been doing it, but I would hope I was doing it if I hadn't had my dad, so yeah. And
what you can find as well at your age is MMA is more of a sport as a whole now you can learn, opposed to someone like myself. I'm 32, you're looking back at learning individual disciplines, so at least you've got the luxury now of coming in and learning MMA as a whole.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So
there's not that many MMA gyms about, I'd say, that are all just fully focused on MMA, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you see a lot of kickboxing gyms as well.
Yeah.
So other than, so what would you say your strongest, without giving too much away, your strongest part of your game? Would it be your stand-up or your ground?
I'd like to say I'm quite mixed. I've got pretty good wrestling, because I've done a lot of takedowns, so I've done a lot of judo, and then I've also done quite a bit of wrestling as well, so my takedowns are pretty good. But then I'd say I probably enjoy stand-up the most, in a way. And I'd say my stand-up's good as well, but I'd say my strongest game is probably my jiu-jitsu.
So who is your main jiu-jitsu trainer then? Who's your main go-to person for jiu-jitsu training in the gym?
Well, probably my dad, to be fair, but we train under Nova Forza, so I train with Ricardo sometimes as well, and he's really good.
So Nova Forza, explain a bit more about who Nova Forza Gym are, please.
Nova Forza started off in Brazil, and they then came to And the Nova Força headquarter is in Brazil, and then we've got like 5-6 Nova Força gyms in the UK now.
Oh, amazing.
And most of the Nova Força gyms are just jiu-jitsu, but the one in Epsom does MMA, and then our one does MMA as well.
Yeah, so I'm just actually looking at it online now, and is that UFC light heavyweight Jimmy Posterboy Manor as well? I can see training at that Nova Force as well.
Yeah.
Have you had the pleasure of training with him before? I know he's probably about 10 times bigger than you. He's a massive unit, that guy.
I've seen him with jiu-jitsu classes before and stuff. Yeah, but he's pretty big.
Have you ever had a chance to like chat to him and say hello or anything like that?
Yeah. I've spoke to him before.
What's he like? I think that's what a lot of people want to hear. What's Jimmy Manor like outside the cage? What's he really like?
He's quite a straight guy. He doesn't say that much. He's just a bit straight. Just doesn't say that much. Not a very big character. Not as much as you'd think.
But still a quality fighter though, and he's still ranked in the top 10, the light heavyweight division. But no, I got the chance to meet him as well, and not too many things to say, but lovely bloke, happy to stop, say hello, take a picture, shake hands. So that's the sort of people we want in MMA. So you said your favourite part of the game is your submission. So like, what's your go-to submission? What's your favourite sort of submission you like to go for?
Oh, it's a good
I know
one.
it's hard. It's like asking you what your favourite film is, isn't it? Yeah, I know. Okay, let's say your top 3 or something like that.
Well, I love Anaconda Choke at the moment. I've been using that a lot. I'd say Anaconda Choke, Darce Choke, or probably North-South Choke. I use a lot of front headlocks.
Yep.
Yeah, like my favourite thing.
Fair enough. Now you can do a lot from the front headlock as well, and can transition to a lot of different positions. You can push away. As I saw in your last fight, you can throw plenty of knees from there as well, which was great. So let's come to that quickly then. So you recently had your first professional MMA fight, and what the people listening probably won't know is that you actually went in there without any MMA amateur or semi-pro fights. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So how did that feel then? Obviously you felt very confident, and your father would obviously never have pushed you there to do it if you thought you were any sort of danger. So how did you feel going in there, never competing in a combat sport competition?
Excited. More excited than anything, yeah. I had a bit of nerves, but obviously you're going to have some nerves because I care about the sport so much, but I wasn't really scared or anything like that. I was just excited more than anything. I think that's the best thing, to be fair. Excited and focused.
No, and that's good.
But I felt...
Sorry.
Yeah, there was a point when I was in the changing room, and then it sort of hit me a bit, and I was like, yeah, shit, this is actually going to happen. And I was like a bit nervous, but I felt fine.
Well, yep.
And as soon as I started walking down, I felt even better.
Well, you have every right to be nervous. You're about to go to a competition where a cage door's going to slam behind you, and the only way you're leaving is either on your feet or walking out on a stretcher sort of thing,
Yeah.
But no, so obviously I know how the fight went. I was lucky enough to be present there that day. Explain to us how it all went. So how did your first pro MMA fight go? Talk us through it. I know there's not a lot to actually talk us through it, but talk us through the actual seconds that actually existed.
Right, so I came out. I usually fight quite light on my feet because I'm not one of those people that stand there and try to sprawl. I try to use a lot of movement. So I came out. He tried to throw some hands. I just throwed a little leg kick. I missed the first one, so I knew I missed that. So I changed the angle and stepped deeper. So I knew I'd make the second leg kick. He didn't like the second leg kick, so he tried to engage with me. I clinched up with him. Threw some knees, which he didn't seem to like either. And then I broke the clinch because he started backing off. So he's just running away almost. And then I just started punching him a bit. And then I just started ground and pound and kneeing him a bit more.
Just punching him a bit, yeah? I was there, Harry. You can't
can't
lie to me. I was there. I've never seen some guy fold under knees and punches. And I know he was blocking quite a lot of them, but it just shows that just at a young age, the power you can possess just going through the guy's guard. And I 100% agree. When watching that fight, he took that first couple of leg kicks and he was not impressed at all. He probably thought, like, how old was this guy again you were fighting?
He's about 22, 23.
And he looked quite a bit heavier than you as well, was that right?
Yeah, I think he weighed in about 5-6 kilograms heavier or something.
So he's coming heavier.
Maybe a bit more.
And he's had 3 pro MMA fights in the past as well, so he's got some sort of experience.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of boxing experience as well.
Yeah, well, that didn't really help him that day, did it? To be fair to him.
Yeah.
No. So so you went in there against someone older, more experienced, and bigger than you as well. And how long did it take again, Harry? Let them all know how long it actually took for you to TKO this guy.
28 seconds.
Yeah, no, you could have done it a bit quicker, really,
seconds.
but
Yeah.
No, well, congratulations on that. Like, well done. So,
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, mate, really well done. 16 years old, no experience, anything like. Well, I know you've got your grappling experience and you've done lots of training from a young age, but to actively have someone coming in there and punching you in the face, looking to win, is probably a different story. But as you said, in the gym, you're training with people a lot older and bigger than you. So, was this something you saw actually as a bit easier than what you're used to in general sparring?
Yeah, I'd say, well, a lot of kids, when they start training with all the kids. And yeah, I've trained with the kids as well, but my gym's more full of adults. So, like, I've always been used to training and sparring with adults. That's just always been what it's like for me. So I've always been the underdog and, like, under pressure, if you know what I mean.
See, it's like being in a gym with older brothers sort of thing, yeah?
Yeah.
No, fantastic. So, with your so we spoke about your groundwork quite a bit. Let's talk about your stand-up, because eventually, obviously, that is how you actually won the fight in the end. So, who do you mainly train pads with, and who do you look up to, with your stand-up sort of ability?
That's probably Tom Green, and then my dad as well.
So Tom Green.
Sorry,
go on, Harry.
Yeah. Tom Green I do a lot of stand-up with, and I do a lot of pads with him and stuff.
So
he's got very good boxing.
So what's Tom's background then? What's Tom Green's main background? I know he's currently, I know he was at one point, he was on the roster at Bellator, so you're fighting with someone who's obviously fighting in high competition at the moment. So what's his sort of background then? So what's he got to bring to the table which you're really benefiting from?
Well, he's quite tall, isn't he? So I have to get inside him sometimes, because when I'm sparring him, he uses his range a lot against me, so I have to try work inside him a bit more. And I usually quite like to use my range, even though I'm quite a small fighter. That's just my style, so I have to mix it up against him a bit.
So does Tom do the pad work, with all the pad sort of work with you as well?
Yeah, he does a lot of the pad work with me and stuff. Usually he's my training partner when we do Muay Thai or K1 classes or boxing classes.
No, brilliant. So with your training then, how do you separate it out? Do you do it quite evenly, like with your strength and conditioning, your groundwork and your stand-up, or do you find you do focus on one area more than other?
I'd say it's pretty even. Usually I train Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday doing classes, and Saturday doing classes. We got Muay Thai for an hour on Tuesday and Thursday, and then we've got boxing for an hour on Wednesday, so I'll do a lot of stand-up then. And then we've got Jiu-Jitsu, Gi from Tuesday and Thursday, and then Wednesday we got no gi, so that's good. And then Saturday we train MMA sparring, so it's actually we can train all the techniques and stuff and do sparring, but then we need to put it all together for the MMA. So then, Saturday we do MMA sparring and another hour of jiu-jitsu as well.
That's incredible that, you fit all this into your schedule. So in the UK, if people don't understand, you can leave school at the age of 16. Before you were 16, you were training all this martial arts. How did you find the time to do it? Were you literally just doing it after school and in between schoolwork? How was it working for you at such a young age?
Yeah, I used to get the bus over to the gym. It was quite a long bus journey. It used to take about an hour just to get the bus from my school. And then I used to have to walk from the bus stop down to the gym, and the gym's not actually in the middle of East Grinstead anymore. So I used to walk about another 20-minute, half an hour walk. And I ended up running it because I knew it was better fitness for me, and it used to take so long.
Just to warm up, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No, so it's pretty cool. So you've really been focusing it from a young age, especially with most kids nowadays sitting around playing computer games, Call of Duty, all that sort of stuff. Not really interested in going. If they are going out, they're going out and just drinking and doing whatever. So no, it's nice to see someone like yourself at your age really focused on it, and the people around you, especially in your gym, just seem like one big happy family. To be fair, which all look after each other. Would you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Like
we're definitely a big family.
I've met quite a few fighters down at KFA, and the support that gets brought to all the Fusion Fighting Championship events that Mark puts on with Ricardo, it's just incredible. Like on your fight, especially the roar that went round, it was like being at a football stadium with like 30,000 people. And I think the other guy was it Ryan Hannaford? Is it Hannaford? Is it Ryan?
Oh, Elliot
Hannaford as well. And there was another gentleman as well. I think it's surname Slice. I forgot his surname now. But
Jimmy
that's
Slice.
it, Jimmy Slice. Yeah, and I spoke to him before. He went in with an injury and still won. So it just shows the sort of caliber that's coming out of KFA at the moment. So yeah, fair play to your father, and maybe you'll look to follow in his footsteps one day, take over that gym. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely be interested in owning my own gym.
No, it'd be good. And you know the right people. You're in the right game. So let's go back to your MMA career quickly. So 1-0. So you're undefeated already. I know it's 1-0, but still it's undefeated. That's all that matters. So what's next? Who's the next opponent, if you know, and when are you next fighting?
I haven't got an opponent yet, but I'm next fighting on June the 15th on Fusion 30.
Okay, will that be at the same weight class you fought at last time?
Yeah, it should be around bantamweight.
Yeah, how are you managing getting to the bantamweight sort of weight class? Are you struggling to get there? You need to put on more weight? Are you having to lose weight? Like, let us know. Like,
not really. I'm just sitting around about that weight, to be fair. Just walking around at about 60, 61, 62. Just walking around at that weight.
Okay, and why? As you see with a lot of fighters, it's obviously people encourage nowadays that you do stick to your natural weight class. Try not to cut too much weight. But going back to your training partner, Tom Green, I've spoken to him a couple of times, and he does cut quite a lot of weight to get where he wants to be. So he does get the slight competitive advantage being the taller man. So has that been something that appeals to you, or is it tough to find an opponent at that sort of lighter weight class at the moment?
At the moment, it's quite tough to find opponents at my weight, and yeah, I'd say I'll probably walk around and fight at about 61. I might, and then hopefully I'm trying to put weight on at the moment, so I can walk around at like 66. So then I can cut down to 61. It's not that much of a cut. It's only 5 kg.
That's good then. So you're not putting your body through extreme sort of measures to get to the weight you want to do, which is right. And I said at 16 years old, your body's still developing, you're still growing, so you will naturally get bigger and stronger until I think they say till like 21 or whatever it is, Yeah. So if you keep fighting this weight class now, you might find you will start having to need to cut weight to get to this class, but you'll be the bigger man.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so big question we ask a lot of our fighters who come on. What separates you from every other fighter in your division? Let's say in your division, in 3 divisions you're probably capable of fighting in.
I'd say I'm quite energetic. I like to have a lot of fun. I like to make it a good vibe when I come out. I like to make the crowd going. I come out, I like to be aggressive. Don't shy out, get hesitant. I'm straight in there. I'm not going to hide from anything. And then I push. And I'll say I like to, when I fight, I want to fight at around 80 to 100%. I don't want to be trying to save my gas tank as much, because I don't think that's the best way to fight. I think you should be able to try and fight 80 to 100% pretty much through the whole fight.
No, and there's a lot of fighters out there who actually prove your point very well. You can go full whack. And with your actual conditioning then, let's talk about your conditioning a bit more. Would you feel comfortable going 3 rounds, 80%? How's your sort of levels right now?
My levels of fitness right now, well, I'd say they're pretty good. I'd say, at the gym I do like half an hour of sparring, and I'm pretty fucked at the end, but I've done half an hour of sparring, and for me, I usually train, I'd say when I'm training, I train a bit of a harder level than most of the other boys, because obviously I'm smaller, so they might be going quite quick, but they're probably not, some of the bigger lot, they're not slamming punches and kicks in. as much. So when I'm training, I'm always at 100%, and I have to be quick and agile against them. Because if I get tagged by one of their shots, they can hit quite hard, some of the lads at the gym.
Yeah, but that's good. It's preparing you. It's good. Preparing. Well, it's not good to get hit in the head ever. But at least then when...
Yeah.
But I saw you took... I think... Did you even take a strike off your last opponent? Didn't he hit you once in the body?
Yeah, I took one shot to the jaw, and I didn't even notice until I watched the fight after.
No. And
then it wasn't that hard, but... Yeah, I felt it a little bit in my jaw after, but I didn't even notice I got punched, to be fair.
There's all that adrenaline pumping through, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
I think, did you say before your fight this guy was getting a bit shirty, let's say, out the back, before coming out?
He was getting a little bit loud at the back, and he was going to knock me out and stuff, and I was like, no chance for me.
Oh, you've got to love it in England, haven't you? You've got to love it.
Yeah.
So this guy was giving it out the back, giving it all the mouth, and then you come out and defeat him in 28 seconds. What did he say? I saw he spoke to you after the fight. What was he saying to you after the fight?
He was like just congratulating me and stuff, and just showing me respect, to be fair, after the fight.
Yeah, that's good, because when I saw at the beginning of the fight, he was looking at you as if... Well, he didn't look like someone who'd been giving you mouth out the back. He looked like someone who's generally quite worried when you started walking down that walkway, to be fair.
Yeah, I think I changed a bit once I came out.
So I think his tactic out the back just riled you up a little bit more, didn't it, to be fair, than actually scare you. And I think, I think he knows now that's another loss on his record, win on your record, so, 2, 3, 4 or 5, so what's your goal? Like, and obviously I know you want to be in the champion one day, okay, but what is your ultimate goal? Say in 20 years time, where do you want to be? You'll be 36 years old. Where do you want to be?
I'd say I would have liked to have gone through the UFC, because that's always been my aim. Yeah. I'd love to go to the UFC. And then I'll say, I don't know really, maybe owning my own gym or something back then, thinking about it, because I'd probably be around retiring age then, I'd say.
Well, you see...
36.
Yeah.
Would you say that's retiring age?
I don't know, Randy Couture thought he was like 47, didn't he? To be fair, but I think that's just that's just another level. Yeah. You got to think, a lot of fighters probably should retire around the 34, 35, 36 mark, to be fair.
Yeah.
But,
you see McGregor retired.
Again. McGregor retired again.
Do you think he's actually retired this time?
What's your take on all that? What do you think about all that?
I don't know. I feel like he's probably just retired, so he can maybe go into... And he said he's just retired from mixed martial arts, so I feel like he could maybe go into boxing or something. I reckon McGregor would make a lot more money fighting boxing than MMA.
Well, yeah, I think he made more money fighting Mayweather once, didn't he? Than fighting... than
his whole UFC career or something.
Yeah, exactly. So he made more money in that in the whole UFC career. But have you heard of that organisation, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship? BKFC.
BKFC or something.
Yeah. There's an ex-boxer called Paulie Malignaggi. I can't ever say his name right. Okay. It's Paulie Malignaggi. He's the one who actually... You remember when McGregor fought Mayweather back before? And there was a video that came out on Instagram of McGregor sparring some boxer and he kept knocking him down. Do you remember that?
Oh,
and everyone was like, McGregor's going to win this, but the full video never came out, so McGregor was probably actually losing that sparring session. It's that guy's joined Bare Knuckle Fighting, and he wants McGregor to come over there and fight him.
What, in Bare Knuckle?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, but I don't think there's that much money in Bare Knuckle, but that would make Bare Knuckle boxing probably quite big if that happened.
Well, they've got lots of ex-UFC fighters, like Anthony Rumble Johnson's helping out, Chris Lytle, Chris Lieben. I don't know if you remember them. They were we're talking 20 years ago, or 15 years ago, some of these fighters.
Yeah, I remember Rumble Johnson.
Yeah, he looks like...
What, is he fighting?
No, to be fair, actually, he's just helping out, it looks like, with the, with the casting for the show and the tryouts and things like that.
Alright,
But he's massive now, he looks like a heavyweight.
Yeah, he's huge. He said he would come back to fight only one person, and that's John Jones.
Yeah, which is the one fight that he never did, wasn't it,
Yeah.
But let's go to John Jones. Do you reckon anyone can actually beat John Jones?
What, properly?
Yeah, I mean...
disqualification.
No, let's not count the DQs. Do you reckon anyone's good enough to beat him at heavyweight or light heavyweight?
I don't know.
Throughout history in their prime, with all MMA fighters.
Who is there at heavyweight?
Well, you got your top, obviously there's DC, and then obviously DC is just going to lose again, I'd like.
I reckon Velasquez could have beat John Jones in his prime.
You reckon he just took him down and wrestled him out or something like that? Yeah,
I reckon he could have. And he's got nice stand up as well, Velasquez, and he's got good head movement.
Yeah, but he's not small, but he's not the tallest heavyweight though. To be fair, but
yeah, but Jones is more of a light heavyweight, isn't he? So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, true. But John Jones is just so dominant in what he does.
I have to admit, I don't think there's many people who will be able to beat John Jones.
No, I completely agree, and especially all that time. Let's go before the doping, when they found, remember when he got in trouble, he found loads of cocaine in the system after that hit and run. Do you remember that? Yeah. Well, to what he said to Cormier was great. Like, he fought Cormier the following weekend after partying on cocaine and alcohol all weekend. And he still managed to come back and beat Daniel Cormier. Yeah. So that really just tells you, doesn't it? It's just like, this geezer can be geared out of his face and literally still win, you know? But he's an animal. It's not good for the sport though for him to be doing that sort of thing, especially with all the positive, testing, like the tiny milligrams or picograms, whatever they call them, they keep finding in his blood.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been doing that because he was definitely going to get caught at the end of the day, isn't he?
Exactly, and someone like him doesn't need to do it. He doesn't need to take the drugs. I don't know. What do you think's going to happen? Who do you reckon he's going to fight next?
I don't know.
That's the problem, isn't it? Who does he fight next?
He's beat Smith, Gustafsson and everything, isn't he?
There's that Johnny Walker who's starting to come through the ranks. He just keeps beating everyone up.
Johnny Walker?
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon Johnny Walker, he's got quite a cool little fight style. I reckon that could be a good little fight, actually, as long as Johnny Walker manages to keep him on stand-up.
No, yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's the thing with Jones. People forget about Jones's wrestling skills. When he first came in the UFC, he was just taking everyone down and dominating them on the ground. But now you see him more spinning, kicks, all more kicks and spinning attacks and all sorts.
He's got a very difficult sort of tricky game to read, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's just so...
It's very, mixed up. He mixes a lot of stuff up with his elbows, knees, clinch, everything.
Yeah, and he's just such a tall bloke as well, isn't he? He's just such a great reach, and it's just a shame that he sort of tainted his career.
I imagine Cormier would hate fighting him.
Yeah, there needs to be the third fight, I think, but I don't see Cormier winning it. I just don't think Cormier can beat everyone else in that division, but he won't be able to beat Jones. That's the problem. First and seconds is just too dominant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I want to see Jones move up to heavyweight and take on that division personally.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say is, so back to what I was talking to you about a second ago. So with all your fighting and all your career, who's your biggest inspiration? Is it a current fighter in the UFC? Is it family? Is it anyone you train with? Who's your biggest inspiration? Let's go with fighter first. Who's your biggest fighter inspiration?
Fighter wise, it's probably John Jones.
Yeah. Without the partying or with
John
the partying.
Jones. Yeah, probably is. I love watching John Jones fight, and then I like McGregor and then Max Holloway as well.
Yeah, Max Holloway's a beast, man. What do you like about Max Holloway?
He's a cool guy, isn't he? And he's just sick at fighting as well.
Yeah, mate, is that the sort?
And I just like his personality as well.
Yeah, not a bad person to mould yourself around, to be fair. He's got some incredible stand-up and ground game. Who do you think's going to win with him in his title fight? Who do you think's going to win that one?
What, versus Poirier?
Yeah.
I reckon Holloway. But is Poirier naturally bigger than Holloway?
Well, no, they've both moved up a weight class to do this fight, which is why a lot of people are annoyed about this interim title fight, because there's lots of people there lining up for it, and instead two people move up a weight class to fight for it. Yeah. So Khabib's out. So who do you think will take that one?
What, take
the win?
Out.
Holloway and Poirier.
Oh, I reckon Holloway, yeah. But Poirier's tough, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Did you see the fight against Justin Gaethje? It was one of the fights of the year.
Yeah, that was a sick fight.
That's it. See, the problem is with Poirier is a lot of people lost respect for him when McGregor beat him. Everyone McGregor beat, everyone seemed to think, he was rubbish. Eddie Alvarez, Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo is probably the biggest one, that McGregor seemed to knock off the map. Everyone forgot how long that geezer was undefeated for.
His win streak, that win streak he had. He was literally the tank. He's like probably one of the best pound for pound fighters in the UFC.
Yeah, by far. And I think it was an absolute farce that you get all these straight rematches for champions, but they didn't give Jose Aldo a straight rematch, which is really surprising after being knocked out so quickly. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I definitely think there should have been a rematch. It's not even like the fight went on for at least a minute that you could see McGregor was just peppering him about. It literally was the first punch. But
then it goes back to everyone saying that was the game plan, you know? It was like he wanted to drive him up.
I don't think anyone's game plans are in their head. They're actually thinking, I'm going to knock you out with my first punch, really. I don't think that's many people's game plan.
It's just something that you'd all obviously wish to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you get out of there, take no damage. He did take damage though. He got a cut under his eye, didn't he? Aldo did catch him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, McGregor just does better against these smaller fighters. He does cut a lot of weight though. Remember how bad he looked when he used to cut that weight?
Yeah.
The guy.
He cuts. He's fought a lot welterweight and like featherweight, isn't he?
No, yeah, fought.
So that's like,
and lightweight, yeah. So he fought Nate Diaz at welterweight, and he looked quite healthy there, to be fair. But I think his best weight's lightweight. Featherweight's just too small.
Yes, he doesn't get the power to knock people out, does he? At that weight?
No,
I don't think as much.
Was that the phone in the background? You'd get that.
Nah, it's alright. Diaz is also a tank though, so that's probably why he can knock him out.
Well, you saw the damage done to Diaz though, didn't you? The damage McGregor did to him.
Yeah, he cuts easy though, doesn't he, Diaz?
Yeah, it's all that scar tissue.
Soft tissue in his face.
All that Stockton street fighting.
Yeah.
So when you ain't doing all your MMA and stuff, because obviously everyone has a life. So what do you do, like activities outside of training? What do you get up to? Do you work full time? Do you have a job?
Yeah, I've got a job. I work at a sign company making some signs, so I get paid doing that. And then I play a bit of football now and then as well. I like football.
So just get together with your mates, just go to work, play football and train?
Yeah, pretty much. It's my lifestyle.
To be fair, mate, what more time do you really have? Soon enough you'll be having girlfriends and stuff, and then all your time's going to be gone.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's it. You get to enjoy them sitting in the front row, holding their face in their hands, thinking, "Oh my God, please don't get hurt." I don't know if that's going to be motivating or not, but you know what I mean. Right. So what I'll say?
Yeah, I've got a competition. I've got a competition tomorrow, actually.
Oh yeah.
Not tomorrow. Saturday. Yeah.
Okay, competition in what?
Nogi Jiu-Jitsu competition. It's in London. It's a bit further past London, actually. It's a Shaw roll competition. Do you know the brand Shaw roll?
No, I'm not too sure.
Jiu-Jitsu brand?
I'll definitely check it out though.
Yeah, it's quite an expensive brand. It's what Holloway usually wears a lot of. So
okay.
And if you win that, I get a year sponsorship. But I'm not necessarily going to win it, but it's still good in a year sponsorship if you win. And plus, because of the categories, I'm pushing myself more because I'm trying to put myself under a lot of pressure. Basically, so I'm fighting under 77 kilograms, and I'm only about 60 kilograms. So that's big. And then I'm fighting also in the adult division as well, at blue belt.
So what belt are you actually in jiu-jitsu at the moment? You're a blue belt. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you're going to be taking on full-grown men basically as well in this competition. Is that right?
Pretty much.
How does that work out? Yeah. How do they manage? I know. Don't be wrong. I'm sure you're happy to do it. You're used to training with all these big guys in the gym, but how do they manage to sanction you being able to fight such bigger people larger people than you? Is that how jiu-jitsu works?
I think it's because I'm over 16 anyway, and I'm pretty sure they said to my dad. My dad was like, "Oh, you're not meant." They said to my dad, "You're not meant to go," and they were like, "Oh, but if you sign a piece of paper saying you're all right with it." And if you get injured, basically, then it's
not their problem,
not theirs. If you know what I mean. Yeah.
No, that'd be really. So, who are you heading up there with? Who are you going up there with, training partner wise?
I'm going up there with. I think I'm going up there with Tom, my dad, and then I think Mark, another lad who's competing in the competition. I think couple of lads might be as well. So
you got.
But yeah, I'm doing.
How many lads you got going then? How many lads you got going from KFA?
I think about 3 maybe.
Oh, good stuff, mate.
I'm not 100% sure, but Yeah, I've got a lot of competitions coming up. I'm probably going to do about maybe 10 jiu-jitsu competitions before my next fight. I'd say at least 5.
5, yeah, 5 to 10. Are there even 10 different jiu-jitsu competitions to go into between now and then?
Yeah. There's that shorter one this weekend. Then there's the English Open, which is quite a big one. There's a little one around Crawley area, I think, Sussex Open or something. And then there was another one in Birmingham, the Naga one.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember the other ones, but yeah, there was a few others as well.
You're definitely keeping busy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Which is good. So do you find this will help you get more used to, competing in actual competitive situations now? Like, when you're in the cage, it gives you a bit more experience in that competitive nature. Is that correct, do you reckon?
Yeah, I'll say that's correct, yeah.
No, that's good, mate. That's good. So at least you're keeping active between your fights. You're training against people who are actually trying to beat you, and opposed to actually just sparring with you. So no, fantastic, Harry. And obviously we look forward to seeing you again in June. And so before we wrap everything up, what I was going to say to you is there anything you want to shout out? Anyone you want to mention? Any sponsors? Now's your time to do it, mate. Or where to follow you? Instagrams, Facebook, stuff like that.
I'd say add up my Instagram. It's Harry Hobbs _ Harry _ Hobbs 20. Get on that, and then I'd say you can add up my Facebook as well, which is just Harry Hobbs, and yeah. And then shout out to Connects Fight Academy as well for getting me here, and I'm still going. I'm not going to stop.
No, that's it, Harry. No, that's what we want to hear, mate. Sounds like you're passionate about it, you're positive, you're ready to keep going forward, and we could be looking at the next British prospect, and with the people behind you and the guys you got training with you, especially some of the contacts as well. I think give it how many more wins do you reckon? 3, 4 wins, let's say, 5 wins, and maybe start looking at other things. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'd say maybe 3 to 5 wins, yeah, and then start looking at other things.
I think you want to get that Fusion title though, is that right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, why not? Just walk around East Grinstead town with it on, just walking around like the champion of the world.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the life.
No, mate, but Harry, I really appreciate you coming on, mate. And then that brings us to the end of the show. So I really appreciate you coming on today, Harry. And if you've liked this podcast, be sure to subscribe on iTunes. We're live every Sunday at 8:30 PM, talking MMA. So go to facebook.com/martial arts chat, give us a like on there, and follow us at Twitter at martial arts chat.
Change your heart.